Hey everybody, welcome to Design in Focus tonight. My name is Daniel Ryan from Winning at Redfern. This is Dom McAdam from Provincial Kitchens Home.
Hey.
We're going to talk tonight about design. I'm going to ask Dom some questions and hopefully we'll get some tips and tricks, some insight to what Dom does, you know, when it comes to designing beautiful kitchens and homes. So, hey Dom, how you doing? Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah,
Nice to have you.
I love this showroom. I love coming to visit here. It's so beautiful, and we'll show you around and show you some of the really neat things that Dom does. But Dom, we're going to talk tonight about craftsmanship and what that means. You know, when you're designing that dream home, and some of the conversations that you're having with your clients, and maybe tell us a little bit about those conversations. So, when somebody comes to you and wants to have their dream home, what do you talk about? What are some of the things you talk about?
I think when people come to me to get their kitchen designed, my first conversation with them is, what's your goal here? Is this your dream home? Is this your forever home? Or is this something that you're going to live in for a year and then sell? Or what's the end goal?
Yeah.
And the quality that I'm building, it's for people that it's their dream home, it's their forever home, and what they want is something that they're building now that's going to last them, stand the test of time, it's going to last them for 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
And that's the quality that I build.
Yeah.
So I specialise just in hand-painted timber, use a hardwood, Tassie oak.
Yeah.
I want my kitchens to be durable, to look good forever.
Yeah.
I love the longevity of a hand-painted kitchen because, you know, fashions change. You get bored with the colour that you picked. You can repaint it in 10 years' time.
You love white. You don't change from white. So.
I do like my white. But yes, it's just you in 10 years' time you might be sick of the handles that you selected.
Yeah.
You know, you can, with the hand-painted timber kitchen, you can take the handles off, pick new handles, give it a coat of paint, and it's a brand new kitchen.
So let me ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
Right? So if we're looking at, so we're going to talk a little bit about craftsmanship there.
Yeah.
The stone.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody talks about, you know, the beautiful stone. I can see this is a huge island.
Yeah.
And you've got these. Tell us a little bit about
Joints.
what you've done.
Yes, I love using natural stone. Natural stone for me has the wow factor. So I love the look and feel of it. When we start a project, we actually take our clients out to pick their slabs of stone.
Yeah.
A lot of the kitchens I build are really big, so the islands will be 4.5, 5 metres long. Problem with that is that slabs of stone are usually only about 3 metres long.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a join somewhere.
Yeah.
So I've devised a way of doing a join using a stainless steel strip. So I incorporate it into the design of my kitchen. So I position it strategically so that it looks like it's part of the design, as opposed to there's just a join in the bench with a grout line. It's a kind of a much nicer way of doing it.
Yeah.
It's a bit more stylish.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then I mean, a lot of people will ask me about stone. It's like, is it problematic? You know, does it stain? They give you a 15-year guarantee with the sealers these days, so I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop etching, but you can get etching out with a green scourer. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
But for people that are concerned about it, I would encourage them to pick different surfaces. So I might do the back bench in stainless steel, which is what I've done in a kitchen over here,
which
we
we'll
can show you.
probably go and have a look at.
And then I might do the island in stone. So it's like you can combine materials so that you can say to the kids, hey, use the back bench for anything you're doing, leave the island alone.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I'm asking all the questions, but feel free to maybe type in your question and we'll endeavour to answer them whilst we go. But I think the question I want to ask everybody, and Dom, what's in Dom's fridge, right? Beautiful Sub-Zero.
I love Sub-Zero.
Can I guess
The
this?
Sub-Zero fridges are the sexiest fridges alive. Yep.
Right, there's a bottle of Dom.
Of course there's a bottle of Dom. Every fridge should have a bottle of Dom.
And you know, we see a lot of integration these days, but I love the way you've made that beautiful Sub-Zero fridge just stand out. Because there's a lot of little tips and tricks, and we're going to go through them tonight.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of integration, a lot of hidden away things. But you've made that
feature,
the feature, and I can see that the wolf upright there, which is a feature. And I can see a little tip and trick here. Can you tell us a little bit about
this is a pot filler. I love pot fillers. It's so you know, I'm trying to design so that people have the practicality of everything that they need. So if rather than go back and forth to the sink and carry a heavy pan with water in it, you can fill up your pasta, your bowl here, saucepan here, and you haven't got all of that like lugging things back and forth. So I also just think they just look so beautiful.
They look really cool.
Yeah. And I think like a lot of people will integrate the appliances, but when the appliances are so gorgeous, like Sub-Zero, I actually just don't see a point in integrating them. I want to see them. But I do integrate other things. Like here in the island, I've done an integrated warming drawer. Again, this is really practical because you're going to be serving the food where the island is. The dinner plates will be out there. So having a warming drawer that's at bench height and easy for you to use is much more ideal than having it underneath the oven stack, which is where a lot of people will actually end up putting it. So it's doing things like that. I guess, I integrate some appliances that you don't necessarily want to see completely. Here I've used a beautiful towel rail that matches the handles and tapware. And so it's just a towel rail that you'd normally put in your bathroom, but it's a lovely feature to put a towel on in your kitchen. It's a bit unique, it's a bit different. I'm always trying to incorporate ideas into kitchens to make them individual. So here I've bought antique wire baskets, and then I've used them here, and people will use these in their kitchen for their potatoes, their onions, their tea towels. It's just a different design feature that makes their space unique to them, and nobody else will have it.
So tell me, when you think about design, right? What are some of the things that are unique to what you do, to the normal, design of a kitchen? What are some of the things that you bring into play when you're designing these kitchens with your clients?
Well, I'd have to say that I'm lucky in that a lot of the people that I'm working with, they're maybe building their forever home or extending their home, and so they're creating those spaces where they can have the luxury area, which is a Butlers Pantry. So over here, adjacent to this kitchen, we've got a full Butlers Pantry. So in a Butlers Pantry, I would create it so that everything that you need is in this space. So you might not have a full fridge, but you can have a fridge drawer so that you can keep the butter and the milk and things that you're using when you're cooking here. And then you might need a second dishwasher, so you can put a dishwasher even under the sink area so that you've got a dishwasher that you can use easily. And if you don't need a full cooktop in the Butlers Pantry, but having something as clever as a pit burner, which just goes into the bench, means that you've got something in here to melt the butter, make the sugar syrup out of whatever it is that you're doing. You've got everything at your fingertips. Butlers Pantries, for me, will usually complement the kitchen, but I'll use different surfaces. So again, it's a stone surface here. It's a natural stone. It's a pepper stone, but it's a dark black granite, which is pretty well bulletproof. So this is going to be a hard wearing area, and I've made it as practical as possible. A lot of people, if they're tight on space, they'll incorporate their laundry into their Butlers Pantry. So I can easily hide washing machines and stuff behind doors, and you'd never even know. Again, here's another little feature that I've got.
I was looking at that earlier. That doesn't look like a normal. That looks like it's a Dom custom, that one.
Yeah, so
tell us a little bit about
when I was in France last time, I bought a whole bunch of antique egg beaters that were for industrial beaters for making bread or flour or whatever, and I've just converted that one into a light. So again, it's just creating something unique and special for my clients that they're not going to find everywhere. And when people walk into homes that I've done, I want them to be, it's got the mark of the owner on it, and that's individual and it's unique. It's not cookie cutter.
And tell me, we talk about this. This is obviously a bit unique, and this is a top trick. But I think there was a question there earlier. What is the distance that you need to have in an island bench if you're doing a cooktop? Is there a particular distance that you would use?
I generally have sort of rules in my head about what I think works. I like to make my back benches deeper, so that I usually do them 700. Most kitchen companies will do them 600, but just having that little bit of extra room just means it's generous when you're putting plates out or cooking. Minimum that you'd ever go between a back bench and an island would be 900. 1100's like a decent space. I don't want something that's 1500 where I have to walk from one side to the other, but something like 11 to 1300 is more generous. It means that two people can pass. But if your space is tight, then 900's fine. Like it's adequate. In terms of the size of an island, it's like, how big's the space I've got to work with? It's like, I'll make the island as big as possible. So I mean, you can never have an island too big, I don't
Yeah,
think so. So
I
that I'll
like
say.
this one here.
Yeah.
It's pretty big, as you can see.
I mean, that island's 900 by 4.5. If I had the space in the showroom, I would have made it 1200 wide.
Yeah.
So having more space would have meant that I'd have made it a bit deeper. But it's still a decent size.
Do you want to show us some of the finishes that you have when you're talking about the interior cabinets and maybe some of the wood that you use?
Sure. So this is Tassie oak on the outside, hand painted, and on the inside I've used an American oak. Because it's a full timber interior, I've done dovetail joints with Blum underrunners. So you still have the good gear. You don't have to have a kitchen.
Yeah.
The old timber kitchens, it was like
Slam,
the
yeah.
clunky drawers. But now you can still use the good drawer runners, but you can have the whole look of that beautiful, handmade, custom-made drawers with dovetail joints, which is beautiful. So this is in American oak inside, and then this kitchen up here, I've done it in American walnut inside, which I actually particularly love. So I'll show you that up here in a second. But since we're passing here, some of the tips and tricks that I do is I do glass cabinets, but I love the look of a solid timber shelf in a glass cabinet. However, if you have glassware or whatever in there and you turn the light on, if it's a solid shelf, then the light won't go through. So what I do is I make a timber frame and then put a glass insert in it so that when you put the light on, then the light will go through the cabinet in the evenings, which is nice. It creates a bit of ambience in the room. It's nice to design interesting things. So I'll do custom breadboards in the cabinetry so that you've got it right where you need it, but it has its own home. In a sink area, I really don't like getting under sink cabinets because I can't reach anything back there. So I'll do a design pull-out drawer under a sink and get a stainless steel U-shaped cutout made around the pipe so that I'm not wasting any room. But it means that you can reach your detergents, reach your fly spray, whatever it is that you keep under there. And then I do like to design very practically. So you've got your bins on one side so you can scrape into the bins, rinse in the sink and pack in the dishwasher. So it's just everything should flow really well when you're designing your kitchen space.
So I'm going to just interrupt there.
Yeah.
I think there's a question from one of the viewers. What is the pros and cons when you're putting a sink in a kitchen island when somebody's thinking about designing their kitchen? What are some of the pros and cons that you could talk about?
Okay. This is all my opinion and everyone will have their own and everyone will want to have it however they want it. I personally like to keep the island free.
Yeah.
I personally would rather have the sink and the cooktop on the back area together and it's just an easy workspace to work between the sink and the cooktop.
Yeah.
Some people want the sink in the island because they want to face the room. For me personally, that means to me that dirty dishes and everything are sitting on the island, which is something that I wouldn't want to have around.
Yeah.
So for me, I would try and design it so that the sink and the cooktop were on the back area and the island was free. But there's some people that this is how they live. At the end of the day, I say to people, you live there, I live there.
Yeah.
So it's like, if this is how you want to live, then that's fine. I have no problem with it. But for me, I will always tell customers what the pros and cons of everything are, and I'll let them make their decision based on how they live as a family.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily how I would.
I'm kind of in the middle, right?
You're in the middle.
I want to
you're one of
maybe
these
cook,
grey people.
and I might want to cook and talk to my guests, but you never know what. As you said, you live there, right?
That's true.
It's your lifestyle. Now there is one room, and I think it's forgotten all the time. But I love this room. We're going to have a quick look at it. And it's the laundry room.
My
you wouldn't
favourite.
think I would say that about a room, but let's have a look at that.
While we're coming down this way, just since we're coming down this way, I just want to show you some of the beautiful finishes that we do inside. So this is American walnut. Right. This is just a spice rack on the inside of a door. But you can see the look, the feel that it gives having this kind of quality inside your cabinetry. Yeah. It's like, you can't go past it. Yeah. So just thought I'd show you that on the way through.
You talked about the painting, right?
Yep.
This colour is beautiful right now. It's in trend right now, but in 10 years' time or 20 years' time, if you want to go for a different colour, you can just...
Oh, actually, this is the beauty of a hand-painted kitchen. In 10 years' time, seriously, fashion changes. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, everything was antique white USA. Yeah. It has so much yellow in it. I'm like, if I never see Antique White USA again, will it not be a day too soon?
Don't ask for Antique White USA.
When you see all the whites now are grey-based whites. They've all got grey in them. So it's like going from a yellow-based white to a grey-based white. But if you have to go, oh my God, I have to rip my whole kitchen out to change my colour palette, it's impossible. So with a hand-painted timber kitchen, you just give it a sand, a coat of paint, change the handles, you got a brand new kitchen. It's like, you can keep doing this every 10 years. So yeah, I don't need to convince me, but I'll try and convince you.
I'm convinced.
Okay, so come on in here. This is my laundry. This is one of my favourite rooms. In fact, on the opening night of the showroom, more women sat in this room just going, oh my God, I wish my laundry looked like this, you know. So laundries are those rooms that are usually ugly, forgotten, in laminate at the end of the house, and they're not a joy to be in. But when you have a laundry that's as beautiful as this, then of course you want to be in it. So when I'm designing again with laundries, I'm also being practical, so doing hanging rods where people can drip dry stuff. But if I can add character to the laundry by using antique wire baskets as the shelves, or even in this one, we've done a really cute zinc wash tub as the basin, which is really quite sweet. And then again, doing pull-out drawers underneath, which is nice. And then if people don't want their washer and dryer on display, then you can have the washer and dryer hidden behind doors. This is a great mechanism because it actually pockets into the walls, which is fabulous. I love it. And then I guess the other thing that I like to include in laundries is a pull-out ironing board, which I have up here. So ironing boards are one of those things that forever in your spare bedroom because you've got nowhere to put it. So this one here is a good one because I love this one because you can be left-handed, right-handed. It swivels in every direction. Doesn't take up much room. I put these in people's kitchens a lot too if they just want to have somewhere where they can quickly iron something. Another thing that we're seeing with laundries is people are combining their laundry with a mudroom area.
Yeah.
So
that looks like a Bondi kind of get your sand off your feet kind of look. Right?
Well, you can. So you could. In Sydney, it's more of a sand room than a mudroom. So people can come in, hang their towels up, wash their feet.
Yeah.
Sit down, get their shoes off. It's somewhere for the kids to come in after school and dump their bags. So, if it's in the country, if it's in Barrel, then it's going to be a mudroom. Yeah. If it's in the city, it's going to be a sound room. Yeah. So,
is that purposeful, the gin kit in the laundry room?
I'm not sure. We sell nice stuff though, like what can I say? Sell nice stuff.
And tell me, there was a question from one of the viewers, storage, you know. When you think about storage in the room, what are some of the ideas you can give people? Because I can see you've got plenty of storage.
We've got drawer storage here.
You've reused this for some storage. What are some of the other things that you can?
I do in laundry areas. I'll create an area where there's a basket for each person in the house, so that whoever's doing the washing can fold the clothes up and put each kid's stuff in a basket that they can take to their room. That's a good way of doing it. Overhead storage is good for stuff that you're not getting to all the time. I do for laundries. I'll do pull-out laundry baskets so that
really
you've got so that everything has its home. Otherwise, you're going to pop it on the floor and it's going to stay there until you get around to washing it. I guess in the kitchen we could have a look at this around here. Let's go around here.
You want to introduce the celebrity?
Oh, sorry. Has everyone met Samik? Samik, could you give me a cuddle? I'd like a cuddle. Come on. Oh, I love you too. I do. Sorry, this dog has a mind of its own. Okay, so if you're coming around here, we might go down to, if we come around to this kitchen here, I like to do oil and spice drawers where you're cooking, and tea towel tray cupboards. So you've got oil and spice drawers, tea towel tray cupboards. I like to design our own cutlery drawers so that everything has its own space, but we actually custom these for each client. So they'll lay all their stuff out, and if they've got like more short spoons and they need more short areas, then we custom it so that they're actually utilising the space really well. You can't beat really good pull-out drawer systems because the drawers fully extend and you can get to everything inside the drawers, which is cool. And then this has got an integrated fridge, which is nice. That's a good way of hiding a fridge.
Now, I think there's a question from one of the viewers. We might head back there and look at a couple of sinks.
Okay.
And the question was, what are the differences or the pros and cons between a porcelain sink and a stainless sink in a kitchen? I can see that you love using both, but what are some of the things that you talk about? When
Yeah, look, I do it again. It's for the client, it's a visual thing. So some women or men, whoever, they just love the porcelain look and white, and it looks good. I love a big stainless sink. I often get asked by clients, they come in here and they I want a 2-bowl sink.
Yeah.
But I find 2 bowls, they're usually neither a decent size enough to use. So I tend to go for one big bowl, because when I want to wash something, it's something that doesn't fit in the dishwasher. So you'll probably see in most of my jobs that there's just one big bowl for the sink.
So you can just put the oven tray in there, not have to worry about moving it around or chipping that beautiful stone that we were talking about earlier, or that stainless steel. And if we're looking down here, I think there's a question actually asking about the floors.
The floors are amazing.
And it's a good question. What are the floors, and what would you recommend when you're talking about a kitchen design?
This is beautiful. This is a flagstone floor. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's from Eco Floors in Waterloo, opposite you.
Across the road from us.
Absolutely beautiful floors. I love the look of a flagstone floor, a stone floor, but it's actually quite hard underfoot. So probably for me, the best flooring is a timber floor, because it's softer underfoot. If you're going to be in the kitchen for a long period of time, it's going to be kind of a bit more user friendly. Yeah.
And I think I want to head back to this area here, because we were hanging out here earlier and we're having a bit of dinner. And I just wanted to. You talked about stainless steel. You talked about the design. So this would be one of those working kitchens that you're not worried about the marble bench getting damaged. So tell us a little bit about this design here and some of the tips and tricks when you're designing maybe a smaller kitchen that has the dining at the bar and the kitchen just here, or the cooktop just here.
Smaller kitchens are actually harder to design than bigger ones, because you've got to think about the space so much. I love a stainless steel benchtop. I mean, this is a fabulous, with stainless steel you can integrate both the sink and the cooktop. So this is a baraza that's been integrated into the stainless steel benchtop. So in terms of cleaning and ease of clean, it's amazing. It's one of my favourites. So this is a great space where if you've got the marble benchtop and you want to make sure that it's being looked after, you can say to the kids, okay, just use the back bench and do anything you need to do back there, and then this will stay as our good bench. But in terms of design, a lot of people they're living in their kitchens these days. They don't want to go to the dining table. So I tend to design, when it's a family, with seating down one end of the island, so that you can all sit around.
Which we did just earlier this evening.
We just had dinner a little while ago, and it's like you can just sit here, eat. It's easy to clean. You haven't got to be taking plates over there and bringing them back and then bringing them to the sink. So it's it's a nice way for a family to live, and it's something that I do a lot of. Definitely.
And I see you've got a zip tap there.
That's my besides the Sub-Zero fridge, which is the sexiest fridge. The zip is like my must-have in a home. I love it. It's just the right amount of bubbles, the right amount of sparkle.
You're a bit of a water snob.
I like my sparkling water, and that one's just perfect. But again, it's a nice thing to have, because this one does boiled, chilled, and sparkling, and so it means you haven't got to have a kettle. So you actually lose another appliance in the kitchen that you don't need. That takes up bench space.
And you can even have that with one in all, so you can have normal water. And you can have the sparkling aspect.
We've got that. We've actually got that one in our Butlers Pantry out the back there. So it's like it's good, because you can have it just as a normal tap, as well as a one that's been filtered.
To keep it nice and clean in the design. But look, I think to be honest,
I don't know what more I can say. To be honest,
that I learned.
I think I've told you everything.
For a while now.
I've given all my secrets away.
and I hope everybody at home enjoyed tonight. It was a bit of fun hanging out with you tonight. But I just want to say thank you, Dom.
Thank you for coming. It's been a joy having you here, and we've had a great time.
Thank you all for watching, and
hopefully
we'll see you next time. Some great questions there. So thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Have a good night. We'll see you very